Okay, so again we are asked to write an equation for this line. And again, it is important to ask ourselves one question: do we have the y-intercept? If the answer is yes, we are happy, and we can use the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. If the answer is no, we are sad, and we have to use point-slope form. So, looking at this first one, we are given a line with 2 points. And so there's a couple things about this one. Number one, we can see what the slope is by looking at the graph, which is nice. We don't have to use the slope formula. And number two, we do have to figure out what those points are. And so our first set of points, our first point is going to be -4, -2. And our second point is going to be 2, 2. Now I could go ahead and find the slope from those 2 points. I am not going to do that in this problem. I will do that in another problem where I'm not given a graph. But I can find the slope really easily here by counting from the point on the left to the point on the right. So the slope is up 1, 2, 3, 4. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our slope is going to be 4/6 or 2/3. Now again, I could find that using those 2 points and using the slope formula, but it's easier just to count it on the graph than it is to do the slope formula. Alex will accept either 4/6 or 2/3 in our answer. I will use 4/6 just to demonstrate that. And so what we need to do is decide which one of those 2 points we want to use in our formula. It does not matter which 2 we use, we can always just pick which one we like better. So I will choose to use 2, 2. Actually, I'll just use -4, -2. I'll call that x1, y1, and then we'll use that in the point slope formula. So we've got y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus -2 is equal to our slope is 4/6 or 2/3. X minus x1 is x minus -4. Let's clean up those signs. So we've got y plus 2 is equal to 4/6 times x plus 4. Y plus 2 is equal to 4/6 x plus 16/6. Now I could simplify 16/6. I'll be very honest, I'm not going to. Instead, I'm just going to continue and let the calculator do the subtraction for me. So what we end up with is y equals 4/6 x plus 4/6 if I was to put that in the calculator. Now 4/6 in both of those instances could be simplified to be 2/3, but Alex is not going to care. I'll just demonstrate that. I'll leave one, I'll change, well, I should just leave it as 4/6, I suppose. Let's check our work. That's going to say I'm correct. And it would have counted me as correct if I changed one of these to be 2/3 or both of them. I'm going to make sure that the next one that I get is a pair of points and not a graph, because for the pair of points we do have a little bit more work to do. With this pair of points, what we have is we recognize that we do not have a y-intercept, but we do have 2 pairs of points. And so for point slope form we need a point and we need a slope. So the first thing that I'm going to do is identify which ones of these are x1, y1, x2, y2. Let's find the slope. We would have 3, 2 and -1, 4. x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 4, y1 is 2. x2 is negative 1, x1 is 3, 4 over 2 is 2, negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. We should rewrite that with a negative in the numerator, negative 2 over 4. You could also call this negative 1/2. I will go ahead and leave it as negative 2 over 4 just to demonstrate that Alex will accept that. Now we have a slope and we have 2 points. We can choose which one of those 2 points we want to use. I will choose the 3 and the 2. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 is 2 is equal to the slope, so negative 2 over 4. Again, you could change that to negative 1 over 2. X minus x1 is 3. So y minus 2 is equal to negative 2 over 4. X, negative times negative makes positive 6 over 4. And again, I could change that 6 over 4 to 3 over 2. It would not matter. Plus 2, plus 2. Y is equal to negative 2 over 4 x plus 14 over 4 is what a calculator would give me. I could simplify that to be 7 over 2, but Alex will not care. So y equals negative 2 over 4 x plus 14 over 4. And we're correct. So again, this first one that we did, we were given a graph, and we could just tell the slope from the graph. The second one we did, we were given 2 points. We had to first find the slope because we could not just count the slope simply from a graph. Then we select one of the points to be our x1, y1, point slope formula, and we're done. We'll do a couple more, one graph and one pair of points. So for this graph, again, we can just count the slope on the graph. If it's easier for you to use the points and do the slope formula, you can do that. I will choose just to count it. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and to the right 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope here is going to be 6 over 4. And we have 2 points that we can choose from. We can pick that one, or we can pick that one. So it's not going to matter. I'll write them both down. Points are negative 5, negative 3. And negative 1, 3. Okay. I can pick either one of those points to be x1, y1. Doesn't matter. x1, y1. I'll use that one. Now I have a slope, and I have a point. I can go straight to point slope form. So, y minus y1 is negative 3 is equal to slope of 6 over 4 times x minus negative 5. Clean up the signs. Y plus 3 is equal to 6 over 4x. Again, I could rewrite that as 3 over 2. Sorry, I didn't realize I was not showing my screen. So again, we got the slope. We just wrote down the 2 points from the graph. All this information just came from the graph. Point slope form. y1 and x1 go in. Distributive property on the right. 6 times 5 is 30 over 4. Finishing this up, we need to subtract 3. If I was to give that to a calculator, we would say y equals 6 over 4x plus 18 over 4. I could simplify that 18 over 4 to be 9 over 2, but Alex will not care. So I will go ahead and leave it unsimplified at this point. So y equals 6 over 4x plus 18 over 4. Okay. Let's try another. This time we'll make sure we get 2 points. Looks like we got it. So starting this off, we recognize that we do not have a y-intercept, so we need to use point slope form. And we have 2 points, so we need to use that to figure out the slope. Actually, let's write the 2 points first. 1 at -6 and 5, 4. x1, y1, x2, y2. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 4 minus y1 is -6 over 5 minus 1. 4 plus 6 is going to be 10. 5 minus 1 is going to be 4. So I will consider our slope to be 10 over 4. You could simplify that to be 5 over 2. So next we need to pick a point. Let's just use the 1 and -6. So point slope form y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus y1 is -6 is equal to 10 over 4 is our slope, times x minus x1, which is 1. Clean up those signs. We get y plus 6 is equal to 10 over 4 x minus 10 times 1 is 10 over 4. We need to subtract 6 from both sides. Calculator work at this point. Y is equal to 10 over 4 x minus 34 over 4 is what we would get. And I could simplify that 10 over 4 and I could simplify 34 over 4. I am not going to. And that's it. I hope this is helpful.